everyone, welcome back to the Data Pour. I'm Steve McLaughlin, head of data at Ippon Technologies. I'm here today at Ardent Craft Ales in Richmond, Virginia, and my guest is Ken Jordan, co-founder at Purple Gold Partners. Ken, great to see you, my man.
Good to see you, man.
All right, let's go get some beers.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you for joining me today, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate the invite. I was starting to think that I was going to be like the season 8.
Oh, dude, no, you've been, you were actually first on the entire list. It's just scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Weather's perfect, right?
Weather's perfect.
Can't complain.
70s in Richmond. Perfect.
Right, and we're 2 blocks from our offices, so easy.
Easy
This is an
stroll.
easy one.
Yeah.
Ken, tell me a little bit about your background, man. Tell me about what you do now, and then walk me through all the twists and turns of your career. I want to hear it.
Yeah, so today I lead or co-lead Purple Gold Partners. We are a executive search firm, mostly focused on director plus talent, technology, product management, data, AI, some of the lanes that you're very familiar with.
Yeah.
We work with banking, financial services, insurance, retail, restaurants, a variety of other industries, but that's sort of our lane is high impact talent. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And we do it in a bit of a different way, more strategic.
Very cool. I'll ask you some more about the talent landscape as we get into it a little bit, but I know you've got a lot of thoughts there, so I want to pick your brain there.
Okay.
Yeah. How'd you get started in technology?
A little bit of a twist and turn there. So take you back all the way to undergrad. So I went to JMU Duke, proud Duke.
Hence the Purple and Gold.
Purple and Gold Partners. That's where the name comes from.
Yep.
Started out as a physics major.
Oh, really?
There.
That's an interesting
Realized
twist.
pretty quickly that wasn't for me. I was a math science guy in high school.
Sure.
Didn't necessarily translate to college, so I switched to the business school there, finance undergrad. Pretty quickly after college, got into technology. So my first real gig was a company called CDA Investment Technologies up in Rockville, Maryland. Within 6 months, I was transferred up to New York City, and we were a investor relations consultancy that happened to do technology. And this was in the 90s, so not particularly advanced. I think we had Visual Basic and Firefox applications, but we sold services into CFOs and directors of IR.
Okay, very cool.
And so I ended up leading pretty quickly technical support for that product or that set of tech products.
And did you guys sell a product, or was it all custom development type stuff?
We did custom as well as kind of off-the-shelf products and reporting. And then we did some just consulting on who those companies should be targeting from a sell side or buy side kind of investor perspective.
That's
so
very cool.
Pretty interesting back.
Yeah, it's pretty holistic.
Back in the
both,
90s.
Yeah, doing technology and also kind of strategic leadership.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I got the start. Kind of evolved from there. Moved to another company in Connecticut. And sat between business and IT there. Kind of was in an integration kind of role, and that's where I got my feet wet into banking itself. And so we sold products to banks, kind of enhancement products, privacy products, discount shopping, and so I had to work with banks to bill the membership fees. And so that was very reliant on technology integration with the banks and their what were the sort of the early stages.
Was it the
of
Wild
APIs.
West, right? Like right then,
a little bit.
APIs coming out, web starting to take over.
Yeah. It was mostly batch interfaces at that point in time, but that was sort of the early. That was probably 96, 97, and so APIs weren't particularly advanced at that point. So a lot of batch data movement at that point.
Very cool.
So.
And what brought you to Richmond?
Capital One.
Yeah,
so Capital One was a client of mine actually at that last firm in Connecticut.
Gotcha.
So was aware of Capital One and kind of what they were building from a card business. Started looking back in Virginia, wanted to kind of start a family and didn't want to do that in the New York area. And so we came to Richmond and got a gig at Capital One.
Very cool.
As sort of a tech lead in a big card kind of replatforming initiative, the first of many attempts Capital One took, and kind of grew from there.
Gotcha, cool. How long were you at Capital One?
Was there for 20 years.
Okay, wow.
20 years, all of it in tech.
Yeah.
So grew up there, kind of played early career technical lead, architecture kinds of roles, analytical roles, and then worked my way into delivery leadership. And then the last, let's say, half of the career was spent in engineering and engineering leadership roles.
Yeah, very cool.
Really two segments, partnerships, credit card kind of segment, and then I closed my career there as a CIO of small business card.
Very cool.
So
sounds like quite a ride.
Pretty interesting ride, great company.
Was there ever like one particular role or one particular moment even that like really stood out? It's like that was the capstone of my Capital One career.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a number. I think one highlight was leading a effort with our Canada partnership business, where we basically were onboarding a whole new portfolio, sort of our entry into Canada co-brand partnerships. And so we acquired a portfolio from GE. Had to do a pretty massive migration from GE systems to Capital One systems. And we had to pull it off in 9 months. So the business gave us 9 months to really build an entire card ecosystem. And so that was probably the capstone, just the lift that took. A lot of heroics with the team.
That's cool.
Cultivated a great partnership with our Canada partners up there. And
that's cool.
Great.
Yeah, those types of projects, man, you pull it off, you'll never forget it, right? All right, should we dive into our first beer?
Yeah.
All right, so we're here at Ardent, as we mentioned in our intro. So our first beer here is Lawnmower. What? It's a Pilsner, is that right?
This is a lager.
Lager, all right, cheers.
It's a light lager.
All right.
Easy drinking to start.
Oh yeah, could definitely mow the grass with that.
Yeah, definitely mow the grass.
Yeah.
Light, refreshing.
Yeah.
A little bit of bite.
That's good. Yeah, you're right. It does have a little. I like this. You could definitely be sitting on the riding mower in the heat, having a chilled lawnmower to drink. That's good. I don't get to Ardent very much. I feel like maybe I take it for granted. It's been here for so long. I think we just discovered it started out as a craft beer co-op.
It's co-op, yeah.
And now they do manufacturing. Of course, it's like a Richmond staple, but I feel like I just don't ever come to Ardent. I don't know why.
Yeah, hard to believe they started out as sort of homebrew, co-op, built that sort of community in Richmond. Early days.
They're very much a pillar of craft beer here in Richmond.
And now their stuff is in grocery stores.
That's right. See it everywhere.
On the shelves,
yeah, that's right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and we just discovered, or I guess you already knew, they co-own Easy Burger. I don't know if we can see that on the camera, but one of the best burger joints in town. Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's right, with the ZZQ folks. So,
that's right. Yeah, it's fantastic. Let's talk about current role, Purple Gold. Yeah. What was the impetus for that? When did you guys decide this is what we're going to do next?
Late 2021.
Okay.
And so Todd Cornell, my partner, and I, we had both left the corporate world, Wells Fargo. Both had good few years there, good ride, leading sort of big technology at scale there. We'd always talked about wanting to do something together, like dating back to, 2005, 2004. When
Capital One, you guys
we
met
worked
at
together at Capital One
okay.
on a big sort of wholesale kind of infrastructure replacement there, and so we had a good ride there. Had always talked about kind of doing something together. We actually looked at restaurant businesses back in the day. We talked about doing a sports bar. And,
nice.
And so once we both left Wells Fargo, we're kind of looking at our next step, like which path we're going to go down. We actually explored other business opportunities.
Interesting. I'd love to know what was left on the cutting floor.
So we didn't initially choose talent, although we had talked about talent previously. We looked at everything from HVAC businesses to a porta potty business.
Wow.
No lie. That was
it makes sense. That was a business.
It's
a much needed service.
We considered it was one that did it for big events. Coming out of COVID, it was kind of questionable economics on that one. So we moved pretty quickly from that. But we kept coming back to talent. Right. We throughout our careers, the biggest thing we enjoyed is building teams. Putting folks in the right positions to be successful or to be challenged. And ultimately, people are what drive success in business. And so we felt like, given our track record of running some pretty impressive teams over the years with great talent, we figured with our experience in the seat, now, could we do the same? Could we help
Love that.
other clients, right? Do the same thing and kind of elevate their game from a talent perspective and help them grow.
And you guys had a very clear vision with that. I mean, you're definitely not just volume, just butts and seats, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So when we first started, things that were really important to us were, first of all, we wanted to do a quality job, right? So that's our secret, a little bit of our secret sauce. We sat in the seat. We've hired a lot of these roles in the past. We've sat in these roles personally. So we wanted to be very intentional about what we did.
That's great. I mean, you really, truly understand both sides. You understand the hiring manager's point of view. You definitely understand the person looking to fill that role. That's pretty unique. That really is pretty
unique. It's a little unique. And we wanted for it to feel not as transactional as most recruiters and firms kind of are, as place and move to the next thing. We wanted to actually care about what we were placing into a company. Do they have the right strategic runway, or do they have the right strategic fit and cultural fit with the company? And so those are the things that we kind of really look for is, are the folks adaptable? How do they really fit versus a check the box skills exercise? Right? And so
very cool.
We think about that. And then, more importantly, I think we also wanted to purpose was really important to us, right? And so we wanted to feel good about what we were doing, not just on behalf of the companies that were hiring us to do great work for them, but also ensure we have a community ripple, right? And actually improve our communities that we are blessed to live in.
Yeah, I love that. And I will ask you some more about that in a little bit. But first, I got to say, one thing I admire about you is my LinkedIn algorithm knows that when you go off on someone saying something dumb about recruiting, it always feeds it to me, and I love it. I always will stop my scrolling, but I want to see what Ken has to say about this. You're very vocal and very.
I'm vocal.
You're vocal, but in a way that is really engaging, and I think you kind of pick apart some of the misconceptions, some of the rumors, some of the misguided things that people say.
Although I try to not have the appearance that I'm going off on someone. So I try to do it with a little bit of...
You do it with class, absolutely.
A little bit of diplomacy. Great. I've got a business to run, and I don't want to come across as that guy.
But I think that you come off as so genuine that I think, to your point, the vision you have comes through in those posts, and I think you often wind up educating people, even the people, blatantly parroting these posts that are sometimes kind of garbage. I think they walk away like, that's a really good.
That's part of the intent. Educate, but also ensure that misinformation is not out there. Because I think a lot of job seekers, it's hard enough to be a job seeker without being constantly fed misinformation, right? And so I think try to demystify some of those things, correct some of those sort of things that are out there that prey on job seekers. I think a lot of those posts come from people trying to monetize job seekers, right? A resume that beats the applicant tracking systems. Which some of those can be very pricey, right? $1,000 resumes are not really necessary, right? But some people kind of prey on job seekers to buy that stuff. And so as much as I can sort of cut through that noise and set people straight, happy to be a voice.
You're fighting a good fight. Like I said, my algorithm now knows. I see them all. Every one of them comes to me because I know he's going to engage with this, and I do. I sit down and read them all.
I appreciate that.
That's cool. What do you think? I mean, obviously the landscape is kind of strange right now. There's a lot of tumultuous times going on. What are you seeing out there? What are some of the trends?
It's a tough market. Just for both job seekers and I think in some respects companies as well. At the end of the day, it's a math game, right? It's a supply-demand mismatch in talent right now. You have not very many roles, right? Just given some businesses just are not particularly confident, right, in the macroeconomic environment. Tariff uncertainty, inflation, interest rate kind of environment has been unstable for a bit, and so a lot of companies are sitting on their hands, kind of waiting for things to settle.
Seeing what happens next,
particularly if they're impacted by supply chain, right? If they're getting their goods or raw materials from overseas, or there's this complex.
I'm sure they're just I can't even read the tea leaves right now.
So it's really hard to make decisions as a business in an environment like that, and so talent is naturally going to be a part of that, right? So there's a little bit of caution. And so that's just sort of the macro. And so for job seekers, becomes a bit difficult, right?
Yeah.
There's less to choose from. Every role is more competitive, right? And so I think a lot of companies are seeing 3 to 4x the applicant volume per role right now,
Jeez.
which is a crazy number.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then I think you layer in some of the other tools, like AI is a big thing in recruitment right now, and you have job seekers that are using AI to make resumes that match job descriptions, which then make it harder for companies to select
actually figure it out,
talent and filter who are the real credible kind of applicants that match my needs, and kind of it's a tough process.
Yeah, what a wild time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Ken, talking briefly about your partnership with Ippon, tell me about how that came to be and what that looks like. We're excited about that, man.
Yeah, so we've been pretty close to Ippon for a while, both as client and just community partners. So we've been, known Roman and company for a while, seen your work in action. You actually have some of my former engineers from Capital One on your staff, leading some functions. Aaron,
Aaron was on your team?
Yeah, Aaron was
I didn't know that.
Aaron was
That's
on my
cool.
team
Very cool.
when I was the CIO of small business at
gotcha.
Capital One.
Cool.
She was a rising star there, and you guys took her.
Yeah.
But she's
sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, she's great. And so I've always known about Ippon in the community.
Cool.
I think, so Roman and I have been talking for quite a while about how we can kind of collaborate and work together, and kind of use the best attributes that we both kind of bring to the table. The one thing I look for in a partnership, when even talking about partnership, is shared values.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And so really impressed by what Ippon does, not only for companies and your clients, and kind of doing things the right way in a very authentic, very flexible way, but also really supporting the community.
Sure.
And so one of the first times I was exposed to that was a couple of years ago when Capital One had a big layoff event that impacted Scrum Masters and the entire Agile community, and Roman was the first one to raise his hand. Let's host something in the office and let's partner on this. And so I was able to kind of co-chair that event with Roman and team, and he opened the doors, and it was a very successful event, and ultimately helped a lot of folks in the community find a home.
Yeah, that's right.
And it doesn't stop there. There's a lot of other community impact that that Ippon drives, and we feel kind of the same, right? We're here to not only impact our customers from a positive impact perspective and growth perspective, but hey, let's also have a ripple to the community and make the community better.
It's important. I think it's, without that, it's just punching a clock, right?
Yep.
I mean, you got to find some purpose, and that purpose isn't always building IT systems. So it helps. It's really great. It's a big part of what I love about Ippon too.
Yeah, and we thought that we could, Todd and I have really strong banking and insurance backgrounds. I spent most of my career in banking and cards and payment. Todd had stints in different segments of banking, so he spent kind of early career in treasury management, kind of capital markets kind of stuff, and then moved to Capital One, and then was ultimately a CIO Americas for Allianz in the insurance space, and as well as doing a pet insurance startup. And so
very cool.
Combined, we bring experience, sitting in the seat of the same segments that you guys actively work in, and we felt like that could be a good
it definitely
synergy.
Makes total sense.
And so we felt like we could be helpful just from an advisory and maybe a contractual kind of perspective with certain clients or engagements, and then we also support the talent space in that very same segment.
Right.
So perhaps we can help elevate the talent.
Feels very natural. Makes total sense. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you, and why don't we move on to our next beer?
Let's do it.
And then I'll get into some more community impact. How about the English pub? I think that's what I got next on my list.
Yeah, this is an English pub ale.
Brown ale, red ale?
A little bit of both. Probably going to be a little malty.
All right. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
It's got a little bitterness to it.
Yeah,
but
definitely got the bitter.
Good balance.
I feel like I could have a pint of that at the pub.
Yeah, this is definitely a pub. This is not a lawnmower, lawn mowing kind of beer.
You're not mowing the lawn with that one.
Yeah.
Probably the rest of them, you're not mowing the lawn. Maybe, I don't know.
Definitely not the last one.
Definitely
we'll get
not
to
the
that.
last
We'll get to that.
That's right. Let's talk about Lunch for Life, man. This is something that I learned about again through you. I think LinkedIn is like, you like everything this guy posts. It's a wonderful nonprofit that you're on the board for, right? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I joined Launch for Life in 2022, about a year after it was founded. Learned about it by chance on social media, scrolling through Facebook, and saw a post from the executive director asking for a little bit of support with upcoming events. I think he was looking for meals to be donated or some snacks. I reached out. We had a great conversation, kind of learned about the mission. The mission really spoke to me. It's an organization that really focuses on fatherless young men or young men that don't have positive male role models in their lives, which can be a tough situation and can lead to really sobering outcomes. High school dropouts, drug use, incarceration, crime, you name it. I grew up fatherless as well. My birth dad left when I was 2 years old and was never engaged in my life. I had a stepdad later in life, but through formative kind of years, most important years of my life, I didn't have a dad at home, right? And so from that perspective, the mission was really personal to me, and so I embraced the opportunity to get involved. I joined as a standard kind of board member, just doing what I can to help, volunteer at events, kind of show up for the young men, help with fundraising, and kind of building a little bit of structure in what was an early stage kind of startup organization.
So you brought a lot of good process and structure to it.
Brought a little process, brought a fundraising platform, kind of put the IT hat on, and like what sort of systems and infrastructure do they need, get them off of spreadsheets, kind of thing. And so I was able to kind of wear that hat, get them into a little bit more well-managed space to build upon. Within 6 months, I was asked to be the board chair, so I was voted in as board chair to kind of lead the organization forward. About 4 years in, right now, we're just about to complete our fourth year. Continue to grow, get some positive press, have some great volunteers like yourself.
It's been fun. I've come to a couple.
Thank you for engaging in our camp
it's great.
and some
what
other
a wonderful organization.
Yeah, it is. So really happy about that decision.
That's great.
Scratches an itch outside of.
That's the kind of stuff people need, right now too. There's just tumultuous times all around, and so that kind of thing is a balm for the soul, really.
Yeah, it is, and it's also we try to take care of the moms as well. A lot of these moms are single moms, working multiple jobs, and so already kind of in a stressful situation, just trying to make ends meet. And on top of that, it's tough to raise young men these days without the positive, role model kind of in their lives right there by your side. And so we try to fill some of those gaps, where we can. And it's really, I think it's really an extension of what we try to do at Purple Gold Partners as well. Todd sits on 2 boards as well, different types of organizations, Richmond Community Tool Bank, and then Friends of the James River.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
And so we're trying to hit sort of multiple types of organizations in our work. And so it makes us feel really good about kind of what we do beyond just the pure sort of talent.
How fulfilling, right? Really admire that about you, and I've loved being a part of my little tiny bit of help at Launch for Life. I've come to volunteer a couple times. Are there any other things that you and Todd are doing with Purple and Gold that's really kind of near and dear? Yeah,
so we had the opportunity recently to take on a search for a CIO in Nigeria.
Oh, cool.
And so got a little bit of a common connection. They selected us over one of the big firms, so we were pretty happy about that.
Interesting.
And so we actually placed a bank CTO over in Nigeria.
Wow. That's cool.
I started a couple of weeks ago, is doing a great job so far, and so that kind of proved a little bit our model.
That's cool.
It's less about posting a job and getting applications. We actually had no network there, and we kind of surgically kind of found the right fit.
That's interesting.
And so really happy about that experience. It was an educational experience for us, just understanding the culture, and kind of
navigating a whole different
how they like to work, and what the interview kind of cycles look like there, which went all the way up to the board level, and the compensation structures are very different. So
Interesting, yeah.
very unique experience for us. But with that, we also were able to leverage some of the community kind of impact that we like to focus on. And so we have a Hires for Hunger program that we launched in January of this year, where every time we make a placement, we'll donate 2,500 meals.
Oh, very cool.
To fight
wow.
food insecurity and hunger kind of across the globe. And
fantastic.
so with this one, we actually donated to 2 places. We donated locally to Feed More.
Yeah,
Which is a great organization here in
course.
Central Virginia that serves 30 counties, I think, in Virginia. So we donated 2,500 meals to them.
Very cool.
But we also felt like, let's make an impact in Nigeria,
I love that.
which often has some challenges with hunger. And so we found an organization called Rise for Hunger. It's a global organization that has an office in South Africa, but they also serve Nigeria, and so we donated the equivalent over there as well.
That's awesome.
So
love that.
feeling pretty good about sort of that kind of impact, and that kind of extends pretty well into our purpose kind of
That's awesome, man.
mission.
Yeah, love it. Admirable. And with that, why don't we move on to our next beer, and then we'll get back
let's do
into
it.
talking about the future.
All right.
What's next? Is it the, it's the Imperial.
Looks like we got
Imperial
the highest,
Stout.
highest ABV one.
Here we go.
Coming right up. Might
Little
have to
Imperial
cheers
Milk
this one.
Stout, yep.
Yeah. 10%. It's not bad.
Woo! That's good.
It's good. It's got some heat.
I like that. I used to drink nothing but stouts. I moved away from them eventually, but yeah, that is fantastic. Ooh, that's got a great aftertaste too.
Yeah, it's creamy. You got the boozy.
That is
I
good.
think it's barrel aged.
It was,
Whiskey
you're right.
barrel
Yep.
aged. So.
Yeah, you taste that.
Yeah.
You're getting that whiskey now. Definitely not mowing the lawn with that.
Nope.
Especially not on a riding mower.
Yeah, that's good.
Wind up in another state.
It's delicious.
Let's talk about the future. So, AI, obviously changing things, goes without saying. You've talked a little bit about how it's impacting recruiting, maybe in positive and negative ways. I mean, what do you see? What's the future of recruiting? What's the future of talent?
Well, I mean, I think it's changing in a lot of ways. Obviously, just from a pure role perspective, like what roles are kind of emerging.
Yeah.
Certainly see a lot of roles that kind of focus on AI kind of capabilities. So data roles have pivoted a lot more to focus
it's rapidly
on
changing.
AI. Even I think business and kind of product-centric roles are kind of thinking a lot more about how AI can impact product and operations, spaces, and efficiency. So the role kind of landscape is definitely pivoting. We've definitely seen a pretty big pivot there. I think just in terms of like the whole process of recruiting and talent, like end to end, we're seeing a lot of changes internal, kind of within companies. A lot of new products are out there that theoretically kind of enhance or drive efficiency in recruitment. I think in some cases, I think the solutions are being thrown at problems that aren't necessarily there, and so I think that we're seeing just a lot of that kind of stuff. And so I'm a little bit somewhere in the middle, right? I'm a tech guy, love innovation.
Can't put the genie back in the bottle.
So my teams in the past have won innovation awards. I've always embraced sort of test and learn, fail fast, that kind of thing. But recruiting is a human-centric process. Like it doesn't get any more human than that. You got humans on both sides of the process. So I think we do risk taking humanity sort of out of recruitment and talent. And so we've tried to, at least in our own approach and process, not that we're not embracing sort of the opportunity. I'm in LLMs almost every day playing with ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and Grok and so forth. But it's still a very human process, and we should treat it as such. And so we care deeply about candidate experience. You're not going to get a bunch of automated emails from us, right? Everything is going to be tailored and make sure that a candidate has context and we understand fit. We're not blasting out inquiries about interest in a role to thousands of candidates, right? We're very surgical about how we go about it. And then, on the other side, how we deal with our clients. We don't view it as a transactional thing. We're tossing resumes over the wall.
Right.
It's a curated sort of
like well
process.
vetted.
Yeah. And so we only send the candidates that we're really comfortable with and that we've really vetted beyond just the skill sets. And so we embrace the introduction and the emergence of AI. We do our due diligence, I would say, on the tools and the things that are out there, and make sure that they are worth our consumption. And at this point, we haven't seen many that are worth it, right?
Fair.
Particularly on the candidate sourcing side, there's a lot of sourcing tools that go and scrape LinkedIn and other places where candidates may have their information, and then tries to return back a set of, these are the candidates you should really talk to. And we don't think that works, right? We really care about like nuance, and themes, and things that AI really can't detect, right? Culture fit.
Yeah, there really needs to be a conversation.
And so
so
we feel like conversations are important. Our ability to actually stitch together themes while looking at someone's profile is I think more advanced than AI at this point in its journey are capable of.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories like having AI review video like resumes, where someone will record a video and then AI reviews that. I mean, are you hearing any horrible horror stories out there?
Well, there's been lawsuits around some of those things where some of those video kind of one-way async video tools. I think a couple of
a dehumanizing experience. That's awful.
And actually only about 40% of potential applicants are willing to actually go through that process. And so by default, you're cutting off 60% of the universe of potential fits for a role. And so a couple of companies got sued for using kind of facial recognition and expressions and things like that to try to draw conclusions about fit. And so they've had to obviously unwind some of those things. Those are things that I think introduce some bias, I would say, into the process that shouldn't be there, and we will never sort of play in that space.
Do you have any advice for job seekers right now as they're navigating, frankly, a crazy landscape? I mean, changing rapidly, a lot of things a lot of misinformation.
A lot of misinformation. So I think, first of all, related to the misinformation, be careful who you follow and listen to. Like, make sure that they are someone that has some credibility, and not just someone else selling a service, right? And so I think that's
if they're asking you for money, you should immediately take a step back and really consider this.
That's right. So do your due diligence on that. Just don't buy solutions that you don't really need, right? So that's point number one. I think applying cold to roles, while can work in some cases, is often in this market not the best strategy, right? And so almost treat it like a sales job, right? If you're selling a service, it helps to have an introduction or a referral, right? Versus selling something cold, right? Your chances of getting responsiveness is much higher. If you have
a flood of candidates, you're just in the list.
Yeah, you got to find a way to get to the top of the list of candidates versus being one in 1,000, right? And so the more you can network, pivot some of that time that you apply to jobs. My son, who is a job seeker, recently, he called it spamming resumes. I don't advise that candidates spam resumes out, right? Be smart about how you use your time. Plan your weeks. Try to spend some of that time on networking and cultivating relationships. Use your network. Ask for help where needed. Be vulnerable if you're comfortable being vulnerable. But in this market, it takes a bit of a village, right?
Makes sense.
To help you land. And cold is usually not the best way to do that.
From a standpoint of CIO, CTO, what should they be thinking about as they're hiring now? It's a little different these days. So what types of things, what should they be looking for in a potential candidate?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is the ability to adapt, right? So obviously you want someone that's a great fit from a culture and just competency kind of perspective, who's going to add to your culture, right? but technology changes so rapidly, right?
Sure.
You really need someone that can actually adapt, right? And,
Let me ask you this: how do you gauge whether someone's really adaptable versus not? What are you looking for?
Well, we've sat in the seat, and so we sort of
Yeah.
understand kind of what that looks like, and
Yeah,
so
sure.
we probe a lot for how they've grown kind of over time, like through their roles. You know, we dig into sort of their progression in their careers.
An AI tool's not going to figure that out as easily as
No. We kind of look for how they've embraced learning and innovation,
Yeah.
experimentation, kind of learning new technologies versus being sort of static in sort of an area of tech.
Yeah.
The ability to take on even different types of roles, right? Have they sat in an engineering kind of leadership space, or have they been just in technology kind of operations and infrastructure? And are they nimble, and can they flex right between both? And so we really look for that ability to adapt as sort of the number one thing. And so that's what I would encourage CIOs to look for as well, versus just to check the box.
Yeah, that's a hire for the long term. You're not necessarily checking the immediate box. It's a hire for the long term.
Yeah, that's right.
Great.
That's right.
Love that. Should we try our last beer here?
We should.
All right, this is Pop with an exclamation point. Pop, I think is how you got to say it. This was their IPA. Was it an IPA?
It's a pale ale.
Pale ale. See,
So a little lighter.
All right.
It's gonna get a little IPA fruitiness.
Yeah,
There's
that's pretty good.
Some hop flavor.
Yeah, tastes a little bit fruity, almost citrusy, but not quite. It's pretty good.
A little citrus to it. Yeah, it's smooth.
I like that.
It's a borderline lawn mowing.
Yeah, that's right. That's a nice summer beer for
Summer
sure.
beer.
Yeah. Sitting out here in this weather, that's the beer I'd want to be drinking right there. Good stuff. All right, Ken, this has been great. One last question for you. What advice would you give to someone right now who's just getting into technology? Not necessarily from a talent standpoint, but what should they be thinking about? They've just graduated from JMU. They're looking for their first job in technology. What are the things they should be thinking about right now?
Yeah, good question. First of all, I think kids coming out of school right now had a little bit of a disadvantage, right? There's not as many kind of early talent.
That's right.
Opportunities. The number of roles in tech are smaller, right?
Yeah.
And so it's tough to land. I would say be a sponge, learn, right? Embrace some of the modern technology, kind of play around with Gen AI and a lot of the different sort of flavors and incarnations of it. Take some courses if you have the the means to and the time to do that sort of thing. I think just technology moves so quickly, right? And so I think the ability to learn, adapt, and just be curious are the key things, I think, in landing a role. Those are the things we actually look for. We actually
makes sense.
prefer not to just check boxes of, hey, these skills today and this is what you need. We actually prefer candidates that actually are curious and are willing to
Constant
learn.
learners.
To learn, because tech's going to change rapidly.
That's right. Yeah.
And so what frameworks are there today, what tools are there today are not going to be there 3 years from now.
Right.
And so
5 years, 10 years, it's going to look totally different.
Totally different. So if you can kind of prove that you have desire and the curiosity to learn and kind of grow that way, and just be a sponge as you get into kind of the next opportunity.
Right.
That's what I would tell people.
Great. Ken, thanks so much again, man. This has been great.
Yeah, loved it. Thanks for the invite. Finally,
Absolutely. You've always been top of the list.
Yeah, glad I made the cut.
You finally,
Season 3.
we had a lot of cancellations. We were scraping the bottom of the barrel. So thanks for making it work this time, man. I really appreciate you, man. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Big thanks to Ardent for hosting us. And until next time, let's toast to knowledge and connection, one episode at a time.